Jesus in a tuxedo t-shirt because it says like, I want to be formal, but I'm here to party too. Because I like to party, so I like my Jesus to party.
I like to picture Jesus as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
I like to think of Jesus like with giant eagle's wings and singing lead vocals for Leonard Skinner with like an angel band. And I'm in the front row and I'm hammered drunk.
Hey, Cal, why don't you just shut up?
Yes, ma'am.
Sacrilege. I know many people are going to feel like that was some sacrilege stuff right there. But if you actually look at history, you will see that Jesus has been whatever the people have decided Jesus to be, which is why he's a fictitious character, because you can do that with a fictitious character. You know, Martin Luther King is always going to be Martin Luther King. JFK is always going to be JFK. Caesar is always going to be Caesar. Mansa Musa is always going to be Mansa Musa. Shaka Zulu is always going to be Shaka Zulu. You can't change it because there's historical documentation and there's historical records to show that those people who were who they say that they were. Jesus, you don't have that. You have people who claim that they're writing based on the eyewitness accounts, but even the people writing is anonymous, so you don't actually know who wrote anything. And when you look at the Christianity as it has grown throughout the centuries, in the first, second, and third century, most Christians did not believe in the Trinity, whether we're talking about the Gnostics, the Nazarene, the Marcionites. They didn't believe in a Trinity. Jesus wasn't a part of a Trinity, but then he was made into a Trinity. You can find some early depictions of Jesus where he was a man of color. And then they made up things, as I talked about in my video yesterday, of how he became Caucasian, how he had wound up having long hair and brown hair, blonde hair, blue eyes, brown eyes. You go to Japan and you'll find a Japanese Jesus. You go to Korea, you'll find a Korean Jesus. It's interesting that in Africa and in the Americas, Jesus always seemed to be worshipped as a Caucasian, even to those people who look differently, but they still worship him that way because that's what you've been trained. That's what the consensus has been for the majority of your life, that this is a depiction of Jesus and this is what you're going to believe that he looked like, even though you know good and goddamn well that a person who grew up in that era, during that time frame, in that place, would have been a person of color and would have never been, Caucasian. It would have never been a Caucasian. But that's what the ruling party decided. You see, after the 300s, after 325, and the Roman government stepped in and started to take over Christianity, then you have the church, the government, deciding what Jesus is and who Jesus is, deciding how to worship him, how not to worship him. Even during the Reformations, you still had Martin Luther, John Calvin, you still had those people deciding who Jesus was and how to worship him and how not to worship him. And even in today, people are changing the process to which you are to worship Jesus in a way that you're not supposed to worship Jesus, which just further shows that nobody has a grasp on who this fictional character is because of that one reason. He's fictional. And by being a fictional character, you can make him into whatever you desire. I can make Spider-Man be whatever I want Spider-Man to be. I can make Thor be whoever I want Thor to be, the Hulk be whoever I want the Hulk to be. Captain America can change up anytime he wants to. Right now in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Captain America is a black man. In the comic books for a long time, he was a white man. Then he switched up and he was a black man for a while, the same one that's in the Marvel Universe. Because they're fictional characters, you can do that. But when you're talking about historical beings, historical characters, then you have to play them the right way. You have to play them a certain way. Because it would be rejected to play them any way differently than the way that we know that they were historically. You can't make Mansa Musa broke. You can't make Caesar a pacifist. It would not work. It would not work. They are played up in the historicity that we know that they were. So with that, y'all have a great day. And remember always, you got to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibration.